Okay, the Tecpatl blade. Let's write that out because it's so difficult for people to remember, I think. Let's see. Or to know how to spell it. I don't even know if Siri knows how to spell it. Tecpatl rhymes with atlatl. Same language. Okay, Aztec. Alright, so yeah, I'm working on the blade. I got the eyeball napped out of a piece of white novaculite. It's just a flat flake with the edges trimmed around and a little bit of thinning done on it. And I just found a spot that has a little bit of a depression in there. It'll go right there with some glue. Now the teeth go in here, but there's a lump, so I was just about to take a flake to get rid of that lump right there. I want to flatten this area out for the teeth to be glued in. So let's see if I can do it on video. I might have to do indirect percussion on it. If it doesn't look that great for pressure, yeah, I'll do the indirect percussion just to get rid of this lump right there, because the teeth are going right in here somewhere. It's best if it's flat. Nice. So yeah, I think that will work. So the teeth are going to be this big. The eyeball, these are made of paper. Teeth on either side of this depression. I may need to take another flake. Yeah. There's usually 3 teeth on top and 3 teeth on the bottom. So I'm going to have to move these down. There needs to be a good gap between the eyeball and the teeth. You can look these up online. They're not perfect, the real ones. There needs to be a gap between the teeth and the eyeball. Right? Pretty good gap. And then a gap between the 2 rows of teeth. The other row is upside down. It's a mirror image of this, but on this side. But it looks like I'm going to have to take another flake below here to get rid of this ridge, so it'll be even flatter, or so it'll be flat enough for this next row of teeth. But I got to be very careful because I've already finished the blade. I don't want to mess up the blade. I tried to take a flake just now right there and it caused a step fracture. Let's see. Heavy pressure. I don't know. Now, let's see. Improve the edge and take another percussion flake. crushed it. Dang it. Yeah, I got to crush right there. Yep. Oh well. Here we go. Back to damage control misery. All right, hold on. That's what I get. That's why it's so narrow. This is not easy to nap. That one flake was a fluke, and it got me all excited. I'm just going to have to live with that now. Yeah, I'm just going to have to live with it. Dang it. Okay. Oh, that bugs me almost as much as breaking off the tip. I'm using the spatula tool because it's pretty much guaranteed not to mess up the edge, because I'm not removing long flakes, or I'm not attempting the long flake thing. So I had to repair the whole edge a little bit. It's not going to be perfect, but at least it won't look like there's a big indentation right there. The teeth will somewhat camouflage the look of it. But my goal of flattening out this part failed because it stepped right in there. Right where I'm supposed to run a flake across the ridge. Alright. The consolation of this is that these blades are not perfect. You know, they're kind of wonky, but they are thin. That's the thing. If I really wanted to make an exact duplicate, I would be more concerned with the thinness than anything else. All right. So the teeth are going in the same spot, obviously. I'm just going to have to deal with that lump right there. Maybe have to make a curved flake. Or I put the flake or the tooth lower. Yeah, I think I can do that. If I put the tooth lower, the fan is going. I can put the tooth below that. It's going to have to be slightly curved anyway. I'll try to make a curved tooth, and there'll be 2 rows of teeth. All right, all right. You'll see. Yeah, that bugs me a lot. See, usually when I'm doing it randomly, I don't look for specific areas that have to work. This one had to work, so with my luck, it doesn't. If it has to, if it actually imperatively has to work, it will not. So that's my usual luck. it was imperative that I got a flake there. If I wanted to take one, it had to work or it was going to mess everything up. So my luck is it messed everything up. But again, teeth will kind of make that look camouflaged. All right. Next step. Make the teeth. Alright, so I picked little flakes that'll match the size. Yeah, that'll match. Let's see. How do I make it so I can show you? That'll match. This has a slight curve in it, so I can probably make a curved tooth I need from that. Maybe. These flakes are extremely delicate, so they don't always work. Sometimes they snap in half. This is a thin one too. I can make 2 teeth out of that one. This is very thin also. I can make some teeth out of that one. This one's better though. And this one is kind of curved too. Alright, so I got enough for 6 teeth. I'm going to make all 6 teeth. That one is thin enough. Alright, we can get rid of that one. Alright, so I got enough there. This one I can break in half into 2 pieces. That one's too small or too narrow now. All right. Just slightly too narrow, or maybe it's exactly the right size. If I have to, I'll use it. If not, I won't use it. I like to have it napped all the way around. If I use this one, I'll have a square edge on 2 sides, and I don't like the look of that because it doesn't look natural. So to speak. All right. Mm-hmm. Alright, my phone overheated. So let me just continue. You've already seen me do one tooth, so I'm going to skip the rest of the teeth. My phone is also low on charge and it cannot charge when it's hot. So I gotta hurry up and do this next stage. So it's going to be the pupil of the eye, and I use this smoky type obsidian because it looks like that's what they used in the past. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't jet black. It doesn't look like it from the photos I've seen. All right. Sometimes I get lucky and it breaks well, but that particular piece was not cooperating. So now all the pieces are everywhere. This might be the right size. Yeah, I think I can get it. Okay. Just barely. All right. So yeah, I need to be very careful about the time. If I need to do something like this, I need to get this posted before the end of the auction, several hours before the end of the auction. And when there's a time crunch, or when something has to be exactly done, imperatively done, that's when I have trouble with it. So I need to minimize all the other distractions and all the other things, and then I can get it done. So I'm going to do the teeth off camera, the rest of the teeth off camera. I'm going to glue it together off camera, and then I'll show the final piece assembled so you can see what you're getting in the auction, and that'll be the extent of the video. Yeah. Instead of going and doing every process, you know, all the teeth, the gluing, the positioning of the items. These little teeth and eyes need to be carefully positioned and then repositioned and then manipulated some more to make sure they're in the right spot. And there's no real rule to it. It just needs to look right. So it just needs to be manipulated so that it looks right. And you have to, you know, heat up the items that I'm attaching with the hot melt, and I use this little torch to heat up the items. It doesn't take very much to heat up the obsidian. You know, you stick it on first with the hot melt. I don't know, maybe I'll show the process of gluing it on, how much of a pain in the butt it is sometimes. But if it needs to be imperatively done like today, I might not be able to do it. If it has to be done, then I might not be able to do it on camera. That's just the way it goes. Yeah, filming it is a distraction. And sometimes when something needs to be done, any slight distraction can cause it to fail. How does a glue gun fail? Well, it will fail if I end up putting glue in the wrong spot because I'm distracted by trying to get the camera or trying to get the items within frame. I might drop some glue in the wrong spot, and then I had to, clean up the glue. Or this eye, since it's round, if I'm distracted by the camera, it might hit the floor and roll, and then I lose it. Whereas I would not have lost it if I was not filming. That sort of thing. So if it has to be done, it's best to do it off camera so I'm not distracted by the camera. And these little things that you never thought would happen, they won't happen. Yeah. Things like that too. But that's not a major thing, but once in a while I'll be distracted by the camera and get cut. As an example. Whereas I would not have been cut if I was not distracted. That's why it's difficult. Well, it has been difficult for me in the past to do things on video that have to be done for a client. Like, it would make sense on paper. It makes sense on paper to do commission work, right? And then film the stuff that I'm doing for clients. Because then I can kill two birds with one stone, for example. So yeah, I'll try to film something I'm making for someone else. Something that has to be done. And then something will go wrong because I'm distracted by the filming process, and then I'll have to do it over or do it again, shoot the video again, or start over with another one and delete that video and post a better video, and then I'll miss the deadline for the client, or I'll run out of material because the first one got ruined because of the distraction of filming. Either I drop it. I have dropped blades and broken blades just because I was distracted. And you'll see me drop stuff on video too. It's pretty common to get distracted by the video process, but that cannot happen when you have a deadline. So it ended up that I was not able to film commission work reliably. Yeah, I can work most of the time, but it's that one time that messes up, that you've got to now focus all your energies on to try to get it done, and you're not able to get anything else done that week because of the priority. And that's what happened to me trying to do commission work on video. So this is very similar to doing a commission work because it has to be done for the auction. And the only way I can guarantee is to minimize my distractions. All right. But this is pretty straightforward. Napping the pupil of the eye to the right size. Yeah, just a little bit smaller. But the rest of the teeth, what can happen there is I'll just mess up 3 in a row or something, and then I'll have to get 3 more pieces, and then it'll be too much filming. The camera overheats. I can get 6 teeth on video. It's just a matter of when. If the camera overheats, I gotta go cool it down. And no, I cannot go inside and film because I am not going to nap inside. I could nap in my van, but my van needs to be available for me to do any kind of errand. I'm not going to put my equipment in there and risk dropping something on top of the napped items while I'm doing an errand with all my equipment in the van. So it has to be out here in the shop where no one can mess with it. Why am I telling you all this? So I can be distracted. Yeah. Distracted from overthinking the pupil of the eye when I'm napping. Overthinking the circular shape makes me remove too much of the outside, you know, the outside edge. Because I try to make the edges too perfect. If I think about it too much, that sort of thing. So in some ways, distraction is bad. In some ways, distraction is good. Yep. There's a delicate balance. It's still a little bit big. It'd be nice if the camera gave me a warning that was longer than 15 seconds that it's going to turn off because of overheating. It'd be better if it was like a minute ahead of time. You know, in 15, it's going to shut off in 15 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever it is. It doesn't give you enough time to react. I've seen some of these pupils with a little crystal glued to the middle of the pupil, which is kind of cool. I might do that on one of them if I can find a quartz crystal. I was not able to find much literature on these. But I can probably find it with a little more looking, so I can see exactly what might have been glued to the bottoms of some of these. Some of these have blobs with little circular objects stuck into the blob of resin or whatever, like little ornaments. Yeah, all right, looks good. So the flattest face is usually down unless that depression is deep enough. You know, I don't want the edges of this sticking out too much. The reason for choosing to flip it over is because this will lay flatter on this side in the middle of the eye, but the eyeball itself will be raised off of the biface. But if I do it this way, the eyeball is flatter against the biface, but the pupil stands out more. See, there's no curve to the pupil. But I think I'm going to do it this way with the eyeball flat. Because what I can do is I'll just put a little bit of extra glue on the back of the pupil. I could put a little bit extra glue on the back of the eyeball. Yeah, I might do that. We'll see. Yeah. The eyeball and the pupil have to be, the pupil has to be positioned exactly in the center of the eyeball. That's what I mean by repositioning and then reheating and stuff. All right. So there it goes. I'm going to cut the video here and then start up again once I got all the pieces glued in place so I can show you the final result. Okay, so that's it for now. You got to see the pupil and the tooth. You didn't get to see this one though, I don't think. Did I nap any of this on video? I don't think I did. Alright, so let me get it all assembled and I'll be right back. Okay, the only thing left to do now is to paint this inside of the mouth red. You can see I glued the eyeball in and I had to scrape away some of the excess glue. I used this piece of wood to do that, but you can still see a little bit of remnants on there. There's a little bit of remnant here too. The hot melt is a little bit like wax. When you try to scrape it off, especially in the hot weather, it's over 103 degrees in the shop. It's more than 103. So anything over 100 makes this stuff kind of soft and waxy. So I can get rid of most of the excess, but it still leaves a little film. So for now, this is a good solution, I think. The clear hot melt, the modern clear hot melt. But eventually I'll find a better way to glue these. Alright, so I just use the barn red straight from the bottle for the mouth. And I get the matte finish, not the gloss. Okay. Now, did they have glossy paint? I think so, but it's much easier to make a primitive paint in a flat or matte finish. The glossy stuff, I can make like a pine pitch paint, and it's glossy when it's cooled down, but it's difficult to apply because you need a brush that'll be able to withstand high heat. And when you make paints from natural glues, the pigments are usually not glossy. So like if I were to make a hide glue paint, in order to have enough pigment within the paint, you have to add a lot of it, and then it becomes dull like the pigment. The pigment is not shiny. I don't know what happened there. I think the paint in the lid is not mixed well enough. Maybe. Yeah, I think it's a good color. You don't need much of it. All right. So the mistake earlier when I was trying to flatten this out is right there in the mouth. See, it's kind of camouflaged now by the teeth. Yeah, I like it. And I opted for a flat eyeball with a protruding pupil instead of the protruding eyeball with the flat pupil. Yep. So from the side view, the pupil is pretty pronounced, but I think it's all right. I can center that pupil a little bit better. Just by warming it up slightly. The obsidian warms up really, really fast. Looking up, looking down, looking to the side. Yeah, that's what a protruding pupil will do. You turn it and it looks like it's the eyes looking different areas, looking at different areas. All right. Anyway, there it is. That's going to be offered in the auction. These are glued in with hot melt, clear hot melt with this glue gun. With the clear hot melt. All right, just so you know. And if I find a better substitute that's a natural glue that's transparent, I will start using it. Yep. Okay. Tecpatl blade. The next one I'm making, I'm going to have paint on it as well. I'm going to accentuate the mouth area and the eye area with paint, and I'm going to put stripes, horizontal stripes across. If you look up these blades, you'll see some of those that have the horizontal stripes up here. And then maybe I'll add a clump of resin with ornaments stuck into it down here. All right. It's a little more narrow than usual. They're about 3 inches in many cases. Between 2.5 and 3 inches wide. This one happens to be 2 1/8 right there, 2 3/8 right there. Usually they're about 2.5 to 3 inches wide, and the length varies. Okay, all right. There it is. Let's see. That's it.